Hello. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to share your Google Calendar with someone. This might be your Google Calendar that Google creates, your own personal calendar. It can also be a calendar that you create within Google and then share with a group of people. So first, if you just Google the issue or Google the question, how do you share your calendar with someone? This is what will come up. One of the things that we are very used to doing within Sanger Unified is being able to delegate access to your calendar so that another user, for example, an administrative assistant or clerical staff, can act on your behalf by creating and responding to events. So they have access to not only see your calendar, but to create events as you and to invite others to those events, but it looks like it has come from you. So what we're going to do first is just talk about how to share an existing calendar, and then we'll go through how to delegate your calendar in that way, where you can share it with a person so that they can make changes and manage the sharing and act on your behalf. So over in this tab, I have a calendar. This is Zachary Smith's calendar. I'm going to click on the three dots next to Zach's calendar and click on Setting and Sharing. Now, again, this is the calendar that Google has created for you. The name is automatic. It is just based on whatever your Google account is. So for most, it's your first_last at SangerUSD.net. And for every staff member within Sanger Unified, it'll just be their first and last name. Under Settings and Sharing, you can actually change the name of this calendar, but the owner will stay the same. So you won't be able to change who the owner of the calendar is. But if you scroll down to share with specific people, the owner of the calendar will automatically be there. But if I want to click Add People, then I can share with specific people. I'm going to type in Katie_Galt and Katie Galt will pop up. And then there are certain permissions. So let's talk for a moment about these 4 permissions. The first level is where I could share it with, or I could share Zach's calendar with me, Katie Galt, and I would only be able to see free and busy. So it wouldn't tell me the names of the events or the locations or the other guests. It would just show that from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Zach is busy. The next level is where they can see all of the event details, but they cannot make any changes to the event. The next level then is they can see the event details. They can also make changes to the event. So they can add new guests. They can change the location. They can change the date and time. The last level is make changes and manage sharing. And this is what Google recommends if you are delegating your calendar to someone else. For example, again, an administrative assistant, a clerical staff member. If you are wanting someone to act on your behalf and create events for you and have them come from you, then you're going to want to choose make changes and manage sharing. Now, it might be that you just want to create a shared calendar. Then all you would need to do is do this one, the make changes to events. The biggest difference here is that the manage sharing allows the person that you're designating. So in this case, Zach's calendar is designating or delegating to Katie Galt the ability to make changes to events, create events, and manage the sharing. So sharing out those events and sharing out the calendar. So I'm going to choose that level and then click Send. It now shows that for share with specific people, it has the owner and then Katie Galt. Now, there are other things on here. You can add notifications. So you can say that each new event that there is a notification prior or 10 minutes prior. You can also take that notification off or add another notification. So for example, you want it to just be 1 hour or 1 day prior. You can add or edit those different event notifications. You can also leave that blank, and then for specific events, add notifications just for those specific events. You can also choose, and this is again on the person whose calendar it is, whether you get notifications. So every time a new event is created and someone sends you an invite, if you want an email, which you probably do, if someone makes a change to an event, like changes the date or location, someone cancels an event, excuse me. So in first class, we get these emails already. The biggest changes is an event response where you could get an email each time someone responds, whether they are accepting the calendar invite or not. You probably don't want an invite for that. And then in a daily agenda. So receive an email with your agenda every day at 5 a.m. That's your choice. That is not something that First Class offered, so that would be a new thing for Google. I'm going to come back up here and get out of the settings. Okay, so that was on Zach's calendar. Now I'm going to switch gears and be Katie, which is who I am anyway. So now on Katie Galt's calendar, this is what I see. So I now have, if I reload this page, I now have my calendar. It shows up under my calendar, and there's the one that Google has created for me. I did not change that. I have all these boardrooms and resource calendars, as well as some other calendars. I'm going to scroll past all of those and then just really show that now on my list, I have Zach Smith's calendar shown. And just like Zach was able to do, I can change some of the settings and sharing because he has shared his calendar with me with the manage events and manage sharing. I can change the color of Zach's calendar. This color is only what shows up for me. So for example, if I change it to avocado, it does not change the color that Zach has over here. But I'm now going to create an event as Zach. So there's a couple different ways to do it. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to uncheck all of the other calendars so that all I see is Zach's calendar. You can, though, just so you can see, you can layer on different calendars. So we have the district calendar. I can have my personal calendar up and showing. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to close all of these and just have Zach's checked. So say, for example, I need to schedule a meeting on September 17th, 2019 as Zach. So I'm going to either click once and then click more options, or just double click and the whole thing will pop up. I'm going to say that this is a Canvas meeting or UDL meeting. It is not all day. It's September 17th through the 10 to 11:30. The room that it is in, I'm just going to pick a random room here, district office, and it is in the conference room. And I'm going to invite Teresa Blanchard, Katie Galt, Daniel Cuellar, Nicole Rosales, and so on. You can add more. So here we have the room as well as the guest. Under the guest, you can see who the organizer is and who has responded. I can add a notification. This again would be where if just certain events you wanted to have a notification of, say, for example, 1 hour prior. And this is the key. It is showing up on Zach's calendar. It is not showing up on any of these other calendars, even though I am Katie Galt and should be being able to operate onto my calendar. I'm having it show up on Zach's calendar. You can change the event color if you would like. And then these are by default. Now, this is where it's kind of cool. As you have access to more people's calendar, you can actually find a time. So, for example, I can see the different times where it would not work for different people. So this is the event time, the one that I have chosen, 10 to 11:30, and it looks like it works for everybody. It's working for the office space or the conference room that I've chosen. It's working for Teresa, Nicole, Daniel. There are no other calendar conflicts. So it seems to be working. And I can just click save. And it asks you, would you like to send invitation emails to Google Calendar guests? I'm going to click send, or I will recommend that you click send. I'm not going to click send because this is a fake meeting. I don't want to confuse everyone. I'm just going to click don't send for the sake of this. But yes, you would like to send those invitation emails to the Google Calendar guests in the exact same way that when you create an event on First Class and type in the names of people, it sends a calendar invite email asking them to accept the calendar invite. So I'm going to click don't send. All right, and so now on the calendar, I have this UDL meeting. Now I, as Katie Galt, would then see, so if I'm only seeing, Now me as Katie Galt, because Zach invited me, or I, operating Zach's calendar, invited Katie Galt on his behalf, I now have this showing up. So it shows up on the time, but the circle is not filled in. I will also have gotten an email where I could accept it, but just on the calendar itself, it already shows up. And then when I click on it, it says that I've been invited, that there's 1 yes, 4 that are awaiting, and it asks me if I'm going, yes, no, maybe. I can propose a new time or I can add a note, but I'm just going to click yes. And now it's on my calendar. So again, you can layer on the different calendars. So you can see where that is in the scope of all these others, or you can just see one of the calendars. Okay, so that is how you share a calendar with someone. That's how you allow that person to create events on your behalf. And then as we get more into it, that idea of finding a time. Right now, I'm just operating as myself, as Katie Galt, but as I add new guests, it will show me like, oh, look, Nicole is not available. Well, that's good that she's not available at 4 a.m. But it shows up on each of their calendars because I'm able to see those different events. And it would suggest a time for me to be able to say, oh, well, if I had a new meeting or if I wanted a follow up to this meeting and that day didn't work, I could forward to the next day and find, oh, look, at this time at 8 in the morning, that would work for all 3 of us. So the find a time feature is going to be really helpful for that. And that is pretty much it. So again, that is how you share a calendar with someone. And at any point, you can learn more about sharing your calendar with someone by Googling it. There are also several YouTube videos, but that's how specific to Sanger Unified, we'll be able to share your calendar and especially delegate your calendar so that they can also create events on your behalf. Thank you.